Good evening, everybody. It's another beautiful afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world. And your local everyday servant is here to serve. I hope everybody had a good and productive day today. I know that I was able to sleep a little bit. I was able to get a couple of messages out that I wanted to get out, but I didn't fully get um, everything done. And I was like, at some point I was just barely finishing all my messages by the time for the next show. And now I'm starting to get a little bit behind, but it's all good. It's a good problem to have. I'd rather have too many friends than not enough. That is for sure. And God has been very, very, very good to me. Way better than I deserve. And so I am so grateful. So grateful. And what I really want to talk about, because there was a couple of things on my heart. There were a couple of things that I did plan for, but I wanted to talk about friendships and relationships, and I was gonna leave that one alone, right? Because um, any uh, romantic relationships like that, but um, I think it's just as important to talk about how we relate to friends or acquaintances or coworkers or whatever, right? And it just so happens to be one of the things that one of the very few things that I know about, like very few things, you know. Sometimes I wonder, like why did God, only put like I don't know certain things on my heart to learn as I went through my life, but it's all starting to be clear now, what it all means. And so that used to be one of my worst areas of life would be communication, friendships, relationships with family members. And then it ended up being now it's probably the best thing in my life, right? I got everything going in a way that's like um it couldn't be better, I don't think, you know. And it's in Proverbs, right, where it says in order to have friends, you have to prove yourself to be friendly, right? And that is so true. You got to be a friend, right? So, like, you have to keep in contact with people. You have to be available for people when they need you. You have to provide them with some kind of benefit, right? And so long, I've had relationships that were only like one way, instead of uh, fully functioning, long-standing relationships and friendships. So how you guys doing today? That's right, man. God's army. That's right. Um, to have a friend, you need to be a friend. I mean, that is the most true statement that I've seen. Like, it's one of those things. It's like, man, It sounds like a cliche, but it is what it is, you know. Hey Richie, how you doing, man? Are you doing okay? You just hanging out, or text me later if you need me, okay? I don't want to put nothing out here, but if you need me. Um yeah, and so like that's the whole thing. In order to have friends, you got to be a friend. And like sometimes it burns me, right? Like sometimes like I'll be one of these people, right, that like gives people like millions and millions and millions of chances, right? And then you end up getting burned for it, right? And that's unhealthy. That's probably a character flaw that I have, right? And so I do get that part of it, um, mostly because um, I don't know if you guys have ever gone through this, but you meet somebody, right, a friend or whatever, and you sort of fall in love with their potential, right? I know what this person could be if, you know, they could get it together, or if, um, you know, um, if, if they did this, this, and this, you know. Or a lot of times, especially like in my Christian walk, right? If this person was a Christian, they would be an incredible weapon for God, you know, because of everything that they bring to the table, right? And yeah, it's hard, right? Because it's like you're telling people that are, pretty decent people already, and you're telling them, hey, well, if you were this, then it would make your life better. And it sounds judgmental, right? It sounds like, well, if you believe what I believe, then your life will get better, you know? But it's not. It's not judgmental. It's like the biggest favor you could do anybody in the world is to tell them the truth about salvation. Because then, right, they have an opportunity to save their own life, right? But as long as we're, debating these things, right, it sounds judgmental, and it's a lot of these things are not debatable, like there's a lot of things that people still debate that are just already known facts, that we don't even need to go back there and debate them and bring up all that discomfort, right? It is true, and you know, um, there were times where I would feel, um, you know, maybe even a little paranoid, right? You put the tape on the camera, you're like, oh man, people are watching me, or people are thinking about me, or people are, this sort of thinking, right? And it really did cause more grief than than anything. But there comes a point where you just accept it, right? Like, well, you know what? They are watching. Like this, it is true. This is happening. Like, I don't need to be afraid of it, right? Because it is real, you know. And it's just a matter of accepting reality, right? But the other side of that is that when while all these negative things out there are true, right? Um, that means well, it's not tit for tat, but it's like there are a lot of negative things that are true, but also there's a lot of confirmation that the Bible is true too. And so a lot of these things go hand in hand, but even on top of that, right? Just historical value alone, you're like, okay, um, believing in Jesus as my Lord and Savior is not so much a magical thought, right? As it is just reality. And so it's amazing. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's weird how um, if Zuckerberg does it right, then you know that it's got to be true. And so it's weird, huh? But it is what it is. Hey, so let me say hi to everybody. I'm goofy today. I'm a little bit tired, guys. I am so tired. I can't even tell you how tired. Like, I did sleep a little bit, but man, am I like drained, completely drained. And I'm gonna need to put out for out for more help, like in the morning just um to take a break, and she'll still be here and out of here, but she'll be she's still with us. And so that's cool. I appreciate her helping so far. Man, she came right on time because I was just physically just but hopefully we'll get some more help because I think I'm gonna have to start another show, and that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be pretty hard, but it's a good thing. It's an excellent thing for everybody. So hey, Darlene, how you doing? Hey, Richie, how you doing? Chris, I'm glad you're here, buddy. Clutch, my main man. And let's see here. Who else is here? Wow, is it just us all on this space? And then let's see who else we have. That's it. So 7 of us. That's not bad. That's good. That's good. It's a nice little small tight group, right? Um, I don't know if like even during like when we're talking about things, right? If you want to post some scriptures later, if we run into like a snag where we're gonna have to, where it's good to just read scripture, then we'll do that. And yeah, and you know what? I did sleep. I did sleep today. Hey, Tom, what's going on, brother? Hey, did you want to come up on panel, Tom, or are you just chilling from home? I feel like I could do more if you're up here, but I get it either way. I get it. No worries, no worries. And so okay, yeah, that's fine, Tom. It's just like I'm trying to figure out like how to do more uh, um at home because I got lesson plans saved, right? But like to get to them is tough because of the amount of security I gotta have on my phone, right? Um, the do not disturb, and also I closed the back button, right? Because sometimes they could not they, but anybody could redirect you when you hit the back button on when you're online, like redirect you to a spot you never were at before, and that's a new way that people can attack, I guess. So I'm working on that too, and so uh, I would say that one thing that I'm always working on is relationships. One thing I'm always working on is my relationship with God. And these are things that are just probably have saved my life. And on top of that, routines, right, normally really save me because of it keeps me in line, like doing healthy things that I need to do for myself, right? And every day, right? I think that it's important to, if you don't write it down, at least think of some things, right? Think of a few things that will, like a gratitude list, a short gratitude list, right? Of, wow, I'm grateful for this or I'm grateful for that, right? Like on mine, it would be like, I'm grateful for the people on the channel. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for, my relationship with God. I'm grateful for that the Bible is online, right? like little things, right? Um, it started off where I could only think of a few things, right? And now it's like I could think of a million things to be grateful for. Oh, what's going on, Yaz? Let's see here. If that volcano in Palma does what they think it's gonna do, people should be getting out of New York and the whole East Coast. Wow. Wow. They estimate 600-foot wall of water. Well, hey, that was predicted, wasn't it? Like, wasn't that predicted in those cards that they have? Just like everything else. Hold on a second, guys. I want to take some Excedrin real quick. Gotta find. Sorry about that. It might even make me stay awake because there's a little bit of caffeine in these. Little headache. But I am key. So I start with a gratitude list, right? Yeah, yeah. There's certain words I'm trying to avoid, right? But yeah, that exact card game they predicted in that game. Have you heard of it, Clutch? They predicted a lot of things that um, have happened. Like, I mean, almost to an uncanny type of. Am I scared? No, no way, man. Are you kidding me? I can't wait for the end to come. I'm scared for the world, right? I'm scared for anybody out there to get hurt. I don't want that, right? But am I scared for it to happen to me? Heck no, man. They could bring that stuff, man. Okay, so I would agree with that. I would agree with that, Mr. Slapper. Um, yeah, the script. Okay, I'm down with that. That's a good description. Um, yeah, and oh, I changed it up. You're saying? Oh, did I? I didn't mean to. If I did, is that what you're saying? I changed up my channel. Oh, okay. Oh, so you okay? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't worry about that, Faith. Now I caught up to what you were saying. Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, yeah, okay. So I had to say a little thing I didn't want to say, but who cares? That's whatever. I don't care about that. you know, yeah, that's small stuff in the grand scheme of things, right? Like, who cares about that? You being willing to help is 10 million times more important than that. Don't worry about it. And yeah, no fear, I don't think, because like, here's the thing, right? We kind of knew that this is what they were doing anyway, right? The elites, right? And I don't even like to call them elites. The uh, the people that make decisions, whatever. Um, the government, however you want to say it. Uh, yeah, I mean, like, it's obvious what it is. And then if you think about it, right, just in general, just how like people are, right, the natural uh you know personality of how people really are, how like, let's say they did know how much land was on Earth, right? Would they really tell us about all of it? If you were like, I don't know, a small percentage of people that controlled everything, right? Would you tell the common people about every piece of land out there? I don't think so. I think there's pieces of land we don't know about, right? So things like that, right? Or do you think that they're really telling us the truth all the time? Or does every scientist care about like furthering humanity? Like, do scientists work for free, right? Do scientists work like independent? Like, is there any independent scientists out there that I could hire? Like, they all work for, the government or some big corporation, right? It's like things are more corrupt and than people originally think, and that's just the way it is, right? Like, the people are greedy, right? And then like a normal like personality type, right, that rises to the top are people with um less emotions, like less empathy, right? Because they're not really feeling sorry for anybody, right? They're just making these shrewd business deals that they don't care if it costs you anything, right? All the way up, and they're okay with scaring you. They're okay with having you in fear. They're okay with starting fights in your life, right? Like, there's certain things that they're willing to do to you that you wouldn't probably do to them, right? And so a certain type of person becomes successful, right? A certain type of person rises to the top. And so these are things that now I expect, right? But I was naive to these things at some point in my life, right? And so it's just the way it is. And so yeah, right, they put their scripts out there, right? Or predictive programming, however you want to look at it, right? But they put them out there. I mean, think about this, guys, right? This is how sick it is, right? They put out some information, right, about they did some testing on animals or whatever. This guy, you know Couchy, right? He they did testing on dogs, right? From what I understand, right? And people are upset about it, right? And that's good. I mean, I would be upset. I mean, you should be upset, right? It's horrible stuff, right? But nobody's upset about them doing it to human beings, right? That human beings are being filled with this stuff, right? But it's like they're more concerned, right? And trust me, I love dogs, some of them more than some human beings. So, like, don't get me wrong, right? But the value of a human being should be higher in people's minds, right? Like, it's just horrible what's going on, right? And but as soon as so they're mocking us in the sense that, yeah, we're gonna feel upset for you know things that things that we're doing to animals, right? But not upset for anything that we're doing to human beings, right? And that's just horrible, you know? Oh yeah, hey, Michigander, all of them, man, all of them. There's no doubt in my mind that at the very least, right? So I would say that it's all people inverted from birth, right? Probably born into like rich bloodlines, right? And that's from what I think it is, right? But at the very least, right, there's you know there's something manly about all of them. Yeah, of course, Clutch, of course. I hope you guys are are being facetious because, of course, man. Well, what does the devil do, right? Inversion, right? And who do you think has all the like control of who's a celebrity and who's not? What do you think a celebrity is, right? Is it just somebody who's like talented, that's an artist, right? No, a celebrity is somebody that if they drink Gatorade and you see your favorite a celebrity drinking it, right? Oh, then you start drinking Gatorade. Like they influence people, right? Like that's what they do, right? I mean, look how they broke the news of the, you know, the lamb demic, right? Because Mr. Tim Honks, right? They use a celebrity to do it, right? Somebody you trust, right? Somebody that played the good guy in all the movies, right? I know. Hey, you're right on that, Michigander. But well, I guess I'll admit I'll admit some things later. Like I'll save some mystery for when we hang out on another panel, right? There's some things that I would admit, you know, but yeah, there's it's definitely because I used to always wonder that, like even as a young person, right? Before I really even knew much about like what the world was, right? I would say an early teenager or something. I was like, why do these like beautiful women in Hollywood like why do they destroy their face like by the time they're in their mid 40s? Like why do they do that, you know? Cuz I'm thinking, aren't they happy that they're good looking? And then, yeah, you can say that there's a lot of narcissism involved with these people because it's a very you know, shallow kind of material kind of existence, right? But it's more than that, It's like they're hiding the male, you know, part, their face, all the collagen breaks down, right? And then it's like the edges and corners are sharper, right? You can start seeing, different things in them, right? Um, Brow bone starts to grow back, and so it is what it is, right? And it's all inverted, right? Everybody does everything backwards at that level, right? They walk backwards, talk backwards, all of that, and it's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy. And see, when I was a teenager, right, and I would listen to like, music or whatever, I didn't know who these people they were singing about were, like, Ozzy Osbourne or whatever, singing about Crowley. I didn't know who that was. Yeah, yeah, Michigander. I would say yeah, but I would say there's also um I think there's a spiritual component to it that we don't know a lot about. But I would say that either way, it's a condition we got to deal with, You know what I mean? Even if it's not physical, like an ailment, an illness, right? It's at least a spiritual malady, right? So we got that way somehow, And so I would say that's kind of a moot thing to argue about, because it's like they just designed that to get us to argue, Yeah, right. But that's why they sing those songs, Mitch. Because they're throwing it in our face, like you make me feel like a natural woman, like that. Like who would say that? What woman would say that statement? Oh, hey, you make me feel like a natural woman. Well, like why would you feel anything other than that if you're a woman, Like why would like an unnatural woman? Like what are you trying to say? But here we are. We drink fluoride in the water, and all this other stuff. We're poisoned, right? And then we're singing it too. It's crazy, man. Singing along with these things. Right, exactly, Tom. Yeah, man, they're mocking us, dude, so much, man. They are, they are mocking us. Yeah, I mean, even Sandy B, who you brought up, right? Miss Bullocks, right? Like, what does that last name really mean, right? I mean, it's in everything, right? It's in everything. Which one is bunk? I can't keep up with what you're saying, Mitch. Now I was following you there for a second. I fell off. Um, yeah, I mean it's oh hey guys, let me say hi to everybody else that just came in. So I think I'll start with where Clutch came in, and Yaz, Will Soaring. Hey, Anti Venom, how you doing, Michigander? Do. Cold Steel, what's up, Richie? Who else came in here? Crafty Cat. Darlene is already here. All right. Yaz, Will Soaring is here. Good. All right, if I missed you, right? If I missed you, it means I care about you twice as much. Faith, you had another different account. You were in here with Faith Patience, and now you're in here with this one. I still haven't figured out how to reset the wrenches again. I got close to it. I'm trying to figure out what I did. I think what I did was I went to the YouTube studio like under my browser, right? My regular browser instead of through that app. Because I think on the phone, right, there's less you can do on the phone. And so I got to figure it out. Oh yeah, man! Did you see that? Yeah, he said stuff about Kaufman and stuff about there was another doctor that Tenpenny or whatever, and I don't know, man. I don't know because I don't see especially when you're talking about like Koch postulates, right? And and to isolate a virus to show that it causes disease, right? Like I don't see any holes in that research. It seemed like good research to me, right? Maybe I don't know, Tom. You watch him more than I do, but does he touch on any research that's more fringy than that? Because the stuff he put out about viruses was good, I thought. I mean, simple, I mean, I don't know how you can mess that up, and I think he explained it really well. But yeah, I think they're pretty good. I mean, it's up to I don't know. I guess it's up to opinion, right? Oh, you got another strike? Oh no, Face. That's horrible. Could you get us? This is my question now. Can you get a strike for stuff that you say in a chat box, or does it have to be just things that you load as content? Now that's interesting. That I wonder, right? Because some of these, I used to, I used to fall into the trap of, say, like you're under like a flat Earth, video or something, and you'll make a comment, and then there's always those people in there, those ballers, right? That where's your evidence? Where's your evidence? And then you debate with them for like an hour and waste your time, and they're never gonna change, right? And it's the same people over and over again. It's like they get paid by the comment. Well, um, think about all those comments that, and all that time wasted and everything said in those comments. I wonder if they could like add those together or something and like have some kind of community guideline for it. I mean, it wouldn't, but I'll tell you what I've been thinking about a lot lately is controlled opposition, right? And now I used to think only the mainstream, right, would have controlled opposition, right? But if you think about how these occultists work, right, there's going to be a controlled opposition to even like these lower YouTube people, right? So like people like FE Core or whatever, right? They're gonna have controlled opposition too. If they're part of like a secret society, they're gonna have paid trolls too. Some extreme looking paid troll, right? And it'll be like a team of people that will put in 8 hours a day, right? It'll be the same people. They won't rotate in and out. It'll be like the same 4 or 5 people that you can pretty much identify. And so I was thinking about that a lot, right? Because there's a lot of scenarios like that I could think of. And I bet if I like, because I was pretty good at breaking these things down, right? I bet if I spent a few hours, you know, trying to put it together, I think that not only is there controlled opposition, right, where there's a paid troll, but that paid troll has controlled opposition too that would put out um, information against them to cause sympathy for themselves, right? And so I could figure it out easily. And so I'm just thinking, like, I wonder if, like, I'm ever in a situation where, like, some of these trolls are bothering me, right? That maybe they should just leave this bear alone and stop poking it. But who knows? Who knows? That might be a fun, entertaining ride. And it all relates, like, maybe we can even do a parallel and do like a Book of Acts study, right? Like, I think Teresa brought that up, and I think that that's good. And then really relate it to overcoming, yeah, not my favorite symbolism, but yeah, crafty. And so, I could really relate it to some Bible stuff. And I think that it would be fun because I think more people would show up for that kind of drama, that kind of challenge, as opposed to just, letting us have our little corner to talk. And I think that that's not making any deals because I'll do what I want, but that's probably the best thing for everybody. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you anymore, Michigander. But yeah, like anytime you scrutinize these things, it falls apart very fast. Like anytime you scrutinize a textbook, anytime you scrutinize like a government agency or whatever, right? You find out all along, right, that everything we were told is bullcrap. It's not what it seems, right? It all falls apart. So it's not like there's any like James Bond type, real professional, controlled op out there. I mean, look at the Flat Earth Society. I mean, what a weak representation of controlled opposition, and they've been around for almost 100 years. 50 years of controlled opposition, and it's garbage. You know, the devil can't. Yeah, I mean, true. I mean, I listen to Jesus, but that's my real hero. But you're right about that. That's exactly it, Faith. And it's easy to see like, yeah, there's hate coming from outside, right? But there's also just some infiltration too, right? There's going to be hate from within too, right? It's a small group of people. I mean, it is what it is, right? Um, I don't look at it as depressing. I look at it as like, well, this is just what it says, right? And if you're on this side of it, if the description in the Bible matches the one that's going to heaven, then that's what I want, you know? And even if I wasn't going to heaven, I'd still love God. And that's just the reality of it. I feel like that's what I was made to do. I feel like that's what my purpose is. And so once in a while I watch this because me and my youngest son, we don't have like a lot in common, right? But we're very, very close, right? We talk all the time, right? And so uh, sometimes to get something to talk about, like, um, and it was, more so when he was younger, but even sometimes now, right? He'll like recommend like a cartoon that he's watching or something like that, like a program, and I'll watch it, right? And then have something to talk to him about, like just something to talk about. And I think there was this show called Rick and Morty, and Rick made this like uh, I want to get it right because I don't watch TV very often. Um, he made like this thing that passes butter or something like that, like a robot. And then the robot was like sentient, and he's like, "What is my purpose?" And then Rick is like, "Will you pass butter?" And he's like, "Oh my God," like it all sunk in. That like his purpose is just to pass butter. And but that's what I feel. I feel like I was made to love God. And that's what I want to do. And that's what I'm gonna do. And since God is the biggest factor on Earth, right? The biggest variable, right? I think I'm gonna be all right. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But I started this whole thing talking about relationships, right? And oh wait, what is this? Is that the SCTV? I'm not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is. That was just an example. Maybe I watched it one or two times, but and I really haven't watched a lot of TV in the last 5 years. I think it's something on. I forget what channel it's on. But there was also another cartoon I remember that was just horrible about like there was these squids or whatever. Like I don't know, they're all squids and they hang out or whatever. No, it wasn't a skit show. It was a cartoon, Crafty. Yeah, we all have a purpose. That's right. I mean, God wanted somebody to partner with, and spend he wants to spend eternity with us. To yeah, and we do need each other. Yeah, we're a body, like and an army, right? But we're the body of Christ, right? We all do different things. No, I no, I don't think no. That was what's his name, dude? The Richie from Boston. It wasn't me. Somebody does it with Richie from Boston. I can't remember who it was. If it's AJ or if it's I don't know. I could picture like cool dude doing a good one. You know, I could picture Patrick doing a pretty good impression of that because he does that kind of thing impressions. I did Kermit the Frog. Remember Kermit the Frog here at Kermit the Frog News. I do Kermit, but I don't do I don't do Richie from Boston. If I didn't care about my voice right now, right? If I wasn't trying to save it because I struggle to keep it like it is, I would do a good Grover. I do a good Grover impression. You know? Yeah. Hey, they right, Crafty. They are always hiding somewhere. There's always a they, right? Even if you get rid of all the people now that are in opposition to you, the devil's just going to manifest himself into other people. So it's not like you ever get rid of a problem by getting rid of the fleshy people, right? The people are insignificant, right? It's the spirit, right? The evil spirit inside of them, right? That's what is the thing to deal with, right? The people that bother you are just people, right? You know, at some point maybe they could get better, and maybe they could go from what they're doing to something better. They can heal, they could redeem themselves, right? They can go to Christ for forgiveness and um, really start over, right? But the spirit inside them will just manifest itself into other people, and then we have to deal with those people, right? So it's a never-ending thing, right? So the war isn't against flesh and blood, but it's spiritual, right? It's principalities, right? Spiritual wickedness in high places, right? And that's in Ephesians, right? I'll do Kermit tomorrow morning. I'll do a whole thing. I'll practice it, get it all warmed up, and then I'll do it. Yeah, the demons hate it when you know, because like once you know that they can only do what God will allow them to do, right? The only power they have is the power that my Father gave them. And if they don't have the power to do anything, then they can't do anything. And my God tells me, right, that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And that's true. That's fact, right? That's always happened all my life, right? That's like a natural law. That's something that always occurs, right? And so no weapon formed against me shall prosper. You guys too. No weapon formed against any of us will prosper. And oh, tomorrow's Saturday, man. You know, doing these shows every day with no break, right? You know, 2 shows a day really isn't that much work, right? I mean, it's really the personal relationships with everybody, but it's the amount of days in a row. Like that's what's hard, you know, is no days off. That's the hard part of it. Consistency, right? And you wouldn't believe how many alarms I have set, right? Like 4 or 5 alarms to go off right before the show, and still I sleep through a couple shows a week, you know. It's horrible. That probably pisses trolls off too when they're waiting on you to start and you're late. That probably makes them mad as hell. But then again, I'm making, people that want to learn about stuff or talk or whatever, I'm making them wait too. So, crafty, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of stuff. I'll watch like any kind of documentary style stuff, especially if it has only one camera angle and no flashy graphics, right? Like if it's just like commentary or whatever. I like that. But I watch all your guys' stuff that you put out. I watch all that stuff. I think it's good. Oh yeah, I went back, Faith. I didn't see that one with the hourglass. I didn't see that one. And so I don't know if you still have it. I'd like to see it. But if you don't, that's cool too. Yeah, I like they see those ones are good. I like that craft use. I've seen yours with the birds and all that, and I like that one with the eagle that swooped from like the top of that one tree and swooped down. Like that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I can't. It's like started in the top of a tree and it swooped all the way down. So you got a whole view of it. Oh, that sucks, Faith, man. So when they take down your video and delete it, it's gone, huh? They don't even care about our work, man. I had one like the one video I had with the most amount of views on it was a Andy Kaufman thing, right? And they wasn't my own video, it's his, and we mirrored it or whatever. But they removed the video, but they also took away the views too. We had 4,000 views on it, and they took away the views, like from our main count. Not that I have a lot anyway. I don't. It's just a couple hundred a day from just you guys, right? But like they took it away, and it's like that sucks. You know. I mean, not that that's a big deal, but it's. I just thought like, wow, that's kind of petty, like to do that. Yeah. Yeah, but Faith, it's a good channel. It's like it's refreshing. It's good, you know. I mean, it's a risk, you know. It's just a, you know, you gotta. It's like a price, right? But I think people appreciate that. I think it's big enough, you know. Like you don't want to fit in this mainstream world, you know. The more you fit in, the more you know, the more you got to do. It's horrendous. Pretty soon, people are gonna have to start taking jabs just to stay alive, you know. Every 6 months, they got to get their jab, or else they're not going to be able to live. It will get crazy, you know. But anyway, yes, sir. Yes, Sack Truth Movement. Yes, Julian, my friend. So is it the Feast of Tabernacles right now, right? Can't really remember. I know Hannah knows all that stuff. Yeah, you're right, Faith. I cringe every time I gotta like, ugh, censor myself. I hate it. It's cringy, man. I wasn't gonna do it, you know, and I was just saying when I was careful, but I said what I wanted, you know, and then I was like, okay, it won't last long. That's why I was trying to build up the backup channel. You know, if I could get a couple hundred on that, I would take more chances on this one because I think only a couple hundred of us really rotate and watch anyway. Because when you get like when it gets a little bigger, you realize that not everybody watches everything. You know, like some people maybe what might watch one thing of yours like a week or a month or whatever. You know, the everyday people is only just a few people, maybe 100 or 200 people, and so it is what it is. And I hate the way the weather is right now in California, where sometimes I feel like the heater should be on, and sometimes I feel like the air conditioner should be on. It's just on the borderline of like not feeling comfortable. Isn't it weird when you don't know what you need, the air or the heat? So you turn on the heat and you're like, okay, this is pretty good, warms up in the morning. Then in the afternoon, the heat pops on, you know, you're like, oh man, this heat. I'm not going to turn on this air. Anyway, I know, man. I'm sensitive. I know, man. But anyway, man, I'm about to hit the old dusty trail. I had an earthquake. Well, I mean, there's always earthquakes out here, right? They're all small, right? But I think the biggest one I was ever in was in 1989. The one during the World Series. I lived in Belmont, which is like 20 miles outside of San Francisco. It's pretty big, I guess. There was a crack in our wall or whatever, but it's not as big as like they make it out to be. Like the bridge falling, yeah, that's messed up. But you wonder how much of that is nefarious, right? Like the bridge, the piece of the bridge that fell, and then the cypress collapsed. Yeah, and people were hurt, apparently, you know. And so that, you know, but in this world, right now, you don't know how much stuff is real and how much is not. You know, it sucks that we have to even think that way, right? Instead of just like having our sympathies go out to people, right? That we got to think whether or not we've been duped. You know, it's we know you're not going to bed. You're right. You're right. I'm going to answer my emails, right? Let me see how many emails I still have up. Let me see how close I am. 47 left. 47 emails. And then whatever starts, well, I'll answer all of the after show, the immediate stuff. But like I won't let it, like, once after that, after an hour after the show, I'll let all that other stuff wait till tomorrow. And maybe catch it in the night. Maybe I'll, if I can finish it before the next show, it'll be good. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I'll answer that. Email. Yep. Somebody calling me from Tennessee. Oh yeah, if you guys get my number and you text me, right? Like, make sure you put your name on it so I know. So that way when I get a text or a call, I know who it is. You know. So guys, I'm gonna round out. I love you guys. God bless you. Um. Well, I mean, the emails is it's time consuming, right? But I like it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't like it. It's better to get text messages, right? Because it's faster, but it goes in sections, right? Email is important, right? Because it gives you like a filter, right? You know somebody for a while, and then you get somebody your number or whatever, because you just never know nowadays. I've been burned too many times, right? Where I'm like, man, this person's solid, it's so good, and then you end up giving them your number, and you end up anyway. That's another story. All right, guys. So God bless you guys, and praise Jesus for His sacrifice and His grace. Right? I don't want to just say that and have it just people tune out because it's something automatic I say. I mean, I want that to sink in, Praise Jesus for His sacrifice and His grace, right? Because that's how we get out of this wacky world. And, all glory belongs to Him, right? Everything good about me is from Him. There's very little about me that's interesting at all, without Him in my life. So, that's it. And so, you guys take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and pray for the kids.